up, beautiful people? This is Pretty Girl Love Trap content. What's up, beautiful people? It's Pretty Girl Love Trap content, and we are here to talk about the Power Universe and all the toxic mother and son relationships. Okay, it's a lot going on over here. So we're going to get into it. Before we do, I got to bring up my little special guest to talk about these little crazy people up in these shows. All right. Are you ready, boo? Are you ready? I think she's ready. All right. Hi, Monique. Looking all cute. How are you?
Good. How are you doing, boo?
Good. So, we're going to be talking about some things today. I really want to hear your input because this list was kind of hard trying to figure out what level some of these relationships are because they all got a lot going on, okay?
Yeah.
Before we get into it, please make sure you guys like this video, subscribe, do all of the things, all right? So, before we get into the top 5, I do want to kind of bring up some like notable relationships that didn't really make the cut that I may want to see some more of or wish I would have saw more of. Okay, so I want to know your thoughts about a couple of these. Now, it's a few that I should have added, but for time's sake, I'm like, we're going to have to do a part 2 if we want to do that. But let's to the first situation, okay? Now, we know course coming up, and we have Diamond and Jannard, all right? Now, I'm very curious on their dynamic with their parents, okay? So we don't really know about the toxicity of their family or what have you, but it got to be something there, girl. We don't know nothing about the parents.
Right.
It's like Jannard kind of came up in a normal way because he was like an athlete, but he wanted to follow in his big brother's footsteps. But let me know, are you interested in finding out their family dynamic with their parents or other family members? Or are you like, girl, I'm good?
I mean, I'm okay if we don't, but I would be curious. Now that you bring it up, I am curious to know what their parents are like and what that dynamic was like for them. But if we don't find out, I'm also okay with that as well. Because Jannard is enough already. He's enough, a handful on his own. So I can do without.
He was like, get somebody else to do it. No, I feel you.
Get somebody else to do it because he a lot.
Oh God. DeMarc said Diamond and Jannard mother worked at a factory. Okay. Thank you for letting me know, DeMarcus. I am doing the Force rewatch starting tomorrow. So I have to get myself reacclimated to all the details because obviously I was forgetting a lot. And it's been over a year, so that's kind of understood. I never really went back and rewatched it after it went off. But just the nosy Capricorn to me, I would say inquisitive more like, but I just want to know more information. Like we're centering a lot of the show with these two brothers. So I at least want to see auntie or something like, yeah, we don't have any kids or anything. So I just want to know a little more about, their mom, if their parents are still alive. Like, I'm just curious. So I wonder if they're going to sneak that in season 2, or at least give us some dialogue as to kind of getting a little more about their upbringing. All right. Next one.
Right.
I want to ask your opinion. So we know Famous from Raising Kanan. All right. His mom kicked him out. He was over there doing a wild thing with college girls. He was stealing money like a crackhead out her purse and being disrespectful. Now, he's about 15, 16. Like, do you think she went too far, or do you think she was justified with kicking Famous out?
That's a good question. I'll be honest. When I watched it, a part of me felt bad for Famous because it's like he really had nowhere else to go. So I just felt like I felt like she could have given him a very firm warning that the next time he does this, he'll get kicked out. But to kick him out like that, I just felt like, whoa, like that was pretty savage to do, knowing that your kid has nowhere to go, that he could be on the street. Like, I don't know, man. I don't know.
Like,
I thought it was pretty rough. I thought it was rough.
I agree. Maybe we saw a little, like another scene or two to see like the boiling point, but we never saw anything.
We never did.
Yeah, and I'm not even sure if there would be any warnings that he would take serious, just knowing his attitude. So she could have been warning him, up to the sky blue, and he still would have been effing up. So I'm in the middle. But I'm more so like knowing what he had to go through, like it's still kind of like maybe a little soft, like, oh no, Famous, you got to go through all this. Like it was a lot. It was a lot. I'm still nervous.
Yeah.
He got some pending matters that we're gonna see how his fate turns out. But yeah, I wanted to know, your opinion about that. DeMarcus said Famous' mother went too far because Famous was underage. That's true too. Not sure of the laws about that. There may be some like child endangerment type things going on, but New York City is overpopulated, so they probably ain't got time to be checking on everybody. If there was an auntie or somebody, like, we all got a relative somewhere. But they probably But yeah, all right. So next one. Now,
oh baby. This one right here.
Dre from OG Power. Now, we didn't get a lot of content from him and his mom, just one episode. Well, not even a whole episode, but like I think it was just this one scene.
It was one episode, yeah.
Yeah, because this was, I believe, a Dre focus episode. It was like the last 5 when we was kind of, nearing at the end of the show. But the mom was pretty much fed up. She was one of them Bible thumping mamas. And Dre was really asking for her help. And she was like, nah, bro. But I wanted to know more. Like, I need a little more input because Dre, that was the demon, the devil.
He called him the devil when he was a little kid. Like, there was one scene where he said, because I guess Dre stole candy or stole something from church or somewhere, and she called him the devil at a young age. So she's partial to blame as to why he turned out the way he did.
Yeah.
A lot of her upbringing with him, she was, the little bit that I saw, I was scared of her.
Thank you for reminding me. But see, that's why I'm doing a rewatch, because it's hard to forget all those details. But now that you said, I'm like, yeah, she was doing all of that. Like, she was crazy, low key. So I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know about my heart and my asthma could really take a lot of that. But it was curious, I was just thinking like, suppose we got a little bit more about Dre and his mama. But I guess they gave us just enough because probably his time was nearing. But yeah, I really was thinking about this whole dynamic because Dre seemed like he kind of had a little weird childhood. So, oh well.
Yeah, he had a really interesting childhood with the mother.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So last one before the countdown. Now we have another one from Force where I'm anticipating on how this relationship between JP and Kate is going to develop. Now, we got little clues from book 2 when we saw Kate with a bunch of boxes in her house. So it seems as though it's probably safe to say that she is probably moving to Chicago to get on Tommy's nerves and to get closer to JP. Of course, Mac. She probably is trying to be a good grandmother now. So what do you think about how this relationship may develop? It may be something, or I feel like it's going to be probably a struggle because he's going to be like, ooh, you a lot.
Right. I haven't given it much thought how it's going to go, their dynamics, because Kate is a handful. So, and not Jannar, what's his name? JP is very calm, cool, collected. So I don't really know how he's gonna adjust to crazy Kate. But I'm sure she's gonna be loving and be kind to him and all that stuff if they were to meet. But she's full, so he's in for a rude awakening.
Two thoughts I immediately just have. Well, one I had before. This one I just popped in.
Mm-hmm.
I think I feel like I did have this thought before. You know how parents are when they mess up with the one kid and they try to make up their wrongdoings with the other. So I can see possibly Tommy getting jealous of JP and Kate's relationship because she probably will be more loving and be just more accepting and caring. So I can see that happening. I'm not sure.
Okay, that's a possibility.
I'm not sure how that will handle in terms of a Tommy and JP's relationship, but I can see that happening. And then I just want to see a scene with the baby mother and the baby father and the kids at dinner. Like I want to see JP's dad and Kate. I want to see them all and just eating dinner and being a whole hot mess like the Tejada household dinners. Like I want to see.
You want the mess.
Because she haven't seen him in what I'm not sure of JP's age, but I would give 35 40 years. So yeah, but that's interesting. So I just want to kind of just bring up some dynamics that is going on in Power Universe. So number 5, I believe this is number 5. Let me go back. Let's see here. All right. So, one second, guys. And please make sure y'all liking this video. All right. Before I bring this up. So, number 5. Now, Monique, you may be a little surprised, and you probably think be a little closer on the list. But number 5, I have. Oh, actually, sorry. One more dynamic. Actually, 2 more dynamics I wanted to touch on really quickly. I forgot I snuck these in. The unlikely, unorthodox mother and son is Tariq and Monet. Because Monet, I really feel like she thinks Tariq is kind of like the mashup of the son she never had. He's smarter than Kane. He's over there. He's in college, so it's little Zeke aspect. But I really feel like Monet low-key would want Tariq to be her
son.
But low-key, Tariq, low-key.
I never even thought about that.
But yeah.
Smarter than who?
What did you say?
You said he's smarter than who?
He's smarter I think he's low-key smarter than Monet. In certain aspects, because she's always Tariq to think. Like, think of a plan, Tariq.
Yeah.
Tariq. I'm like, girl, like, using all the boys' brain cells.
Can you think for yourself?
But yeah, that's a little interesting relationship that I thought of. And then one more. Lulu.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, because as I, stated previously, even though they're brother and sister, I feel like Raquel kind of took more of a motherly role with Lulu. And so I really see them more as a low-key mother and son versus brother and sister.
I can see that.
Especially one of the last scenes we saw, she was like, "I own you, like
you
girl."
I own you,
child. If that ain't give me like slave master vibes, I'm like, hold up.
Right, that was crazy.
Yeah, so it looks like we're getting Raising Kanan around Christmas. So I'm hoping.
I'm ready for it to come back. That's my favorite spinoff.
Me too. So I'm hoping. I'm just praying. With the writer strike and everything, I don't know how everything else is going to fail.
Oh, right.
Besides Forest seems like a possible definite on September 1st, but Raising Kanan right now is scheduled for Christmas time. So we're gonna see if I got a good little present on my TV. But yes, now we can get into my 5 toxic mother and sons.
Okay.
This is number 5. Cinco. All right. And I know you thinking like, girl, they number 5.
Not number 3 or 2.
But hear me out.
Okay.
Hear me out. because the other ones are, I feel like, a little more complex, even though they're very toxic. Based on a lot of the toxicity we're seeing is when Tommy is a grown ass man. He's an adult. He's not a teenager. He's not a kid, even though I'm sure she was doing reckless things at that time. But, I'm kind of based on what we've been able to view in terms of the toxic bullish that Kate and Tommy. Now, we don't see a lot of drug use between mother and son, but he's grown. She's grown. So that's why I kind of put it with Kate and Tommy is he has the weird fetishes with the redheads. They are very volatile. He's threatened her. He's been aggressive with her physically, verbally.
Mm-hmm.
And we know she's kind of pretty much been like a trash mom in a sense, not really being there per se. And it's funny because she was more coddly to Ghost than she was with Tommy.
Yeah,
but I think she did serve like some sort of mother figure to Ghost. But yeah, she's number 5. Like,
okay.
would you kind of, if you had a list, what number would they be? Thinking about the mother and sons, do you think you would have put them a little higher, like 3, 4, 5, or do you think that's kind of okay for right now?
I'll know more once I see the rest of the list, but for right now, I feel like they would probably be like number 3 on my list. But
no, I get it, because if they were, then I had to move them back. But hear me
see out. Who else you have, because you might have some heavy hitters. You might have some heavy hitters on the list, so it might make sense to me in a few minutes why you put them at number 5. So we're gonna see. The verdict is out.
Please let me know your thoughts, because of course this is my brain.
Yeah.
You may have other points. So I'm gonna go to number 4.
Okay.
Monet and Kane.
Okay. I can see why you put them before. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, because one thing about Kate, she ain't over there telling Tommy to be killing folk every day. Okay.
Right.
Yes,
right.
They do the recreational drug use, but she be having her son sell the drugs and kill the people. All right. Like literally like a puppy dog.
And bury the body.
Yes.
And bury the body.
Yes. She has her son knee deep. And, Kane is a lot younger. I'm giving him like 22, 23. Well, no, Zeke was 23, right? I think he was 23, 24. So Kane is like still his early 20s. He probably been killing for God knows when. You know what I'm saying? So I have them at number 4. Now, do you have any comments regarding these two, this mother and son, or do you want to just move on?
Yeah, I mean, they're very toxic. I mean, Kane is like a little lost puppy oftentimes. I mean, he's always looking for her approval. She say jump. He says how high. You know what I'm saying? She's got him by the balls, really. So they're definitely a toxic mother and daughter, or mother and son duo, for sure. Yeah, I'm just thinking all the stuff that he has to do for her, and what, like you said, what she asks him to do, and the killing, and the this and the that, and the manipulation, and but Tariq did it. Oh, really? All right, I'll do it. Like all that stuff, all that manipulation is just
yes. And she, made him think that he was going to have to kill his father, even though,
Oh my gosh, yes, that was a terrible little plot.
Yes. So it was a lot. This next one, it may be a little controversial in terms of the order, but hear me out. So the next one is Monet and Zeke. Now this is more so not necessarily
you're gonna have
how she treated him, because I feel like she was a very loving figure. But the fact that you lied to this man his entire life, all right, you pretty much made him believe his mother was not his mother, his aunt was not his aunt. You made him believe that his dad wasn't his dad. You made him believe that his dad was doing life in prison. And I feel like the truth, by revealing the truth, well, just a couple things. One, you put him so much close in proximity to your hood ratchet gangster life. It really did him no justice. Okay. I feel like if she really wanted to do him good, he would have stayed as behind in North Carolina. You should have did that, but you were selfish. You wanted him close to you. All right, cool. But the whole reveal, now granted, nosy ass Diana did all that. But when you make this much of a lie, this series of a lie, you have to be possibly prepared for the truth. So I feel like the truth being revealed, possibly, if he didn't die, I feel like at this point, if he was still alive, it would cause him a lot of mental damage and anguish, because I can't even imagine feeling like my whole life is a lie. I'm not that bright. I'm not that bright. My whole career as a basketball player, the one thing I truly love, well, two things I truly love. You killed my woman, okay? And she was a woman, all right? And you killed my dreams of playing basketball. The only thing I really, truly feel like I can be good at. So I feel like she pretty much killed his spirit as a person by keeping this lie. Now, I know it's not as violent as, seemingly as the other two, as Kate and Tommy and Monet and Kane, but I feel like mentally and emotionally and spiritually is just as damaging.
Okay.
You can argue that way out if you want to.
I can see where you're coming from. I see what you're saying, but they would not be number 3 for me. I would have put this at number 5, to be honest.
I get it. It was kind of number 5 where I was. I was playing around with it, so I get it. I totally get it. But I wanted to kind of talk it through, because I was playing around with those orders. DeMarcus said we never met Monet's sister Lena, the woman who raised it. Yeah, I feel like I thought she was going to come this most recent season, but maybe we'll see her next season. We'll see. Support game, but nothing like Tommy and Kate. I get it. But as I was saying, my justification was the most toxic thing I feel like with them is probably the joint drug use. But at that time, they're both grown, so that's kind of was my mindset. But I get it if you guys don't agree, because I was kind of playing around with it. All right, we have 2 more spots left. And this was hard, y'all. This was hard.
Uh-oh.
So number 2.
Ooh, I'm scared.
Tasha and Tariq. Now, they're number 2 because now the number 1 spot had a similar situation, okay? But this one, I put it number 2 because, yes, they conspired to kill Tariq's father, Ghost. But at least he was fully aware who he was, okay? Just keep that in mind. He knew who his father was. He knew why he was doing it. And he hated his father, okay? Now, Tasha, yes, she told Tariq how to whip the work and sell the drugs. That's controversial because he was going to figure it out probably anyway. And I feel like how the other mother that I'm going to talk about soon is one of those things where I'm going to teach you, even though it's wrong. I don't want you to learn it wrong from a stranger or anybody. Not saying it was right, but I understand the logic behind it. But yes, they're number 2 as of now. What do you feel about them being number 2?
I'm okay with number 2. It's hard because for the first half of the series, it seemed like Tasha and Ghost were somewhat on the same page when it came to raising the kids. But then things got a little bit tricky, and Tasha was able to kind of see through Tariq's BS more than Ghost was able to. So that's when they kind of started to split as far as their parenting style and like just everything that had to do with Tariq. And then Tasha took matters into her own hands and decided to teach him the game, if you will. So it's just, it got really complex. And that's when things became, somewhat toxic. And yeah, I don't know. They're just an interesting dynamic between the two of them. They're very interesting, Tariq and Tasha. Yeah.
This was hard because I really had to justify this next one, okay, which you guys may have guessed. It's Kanan and Raquel, okay? And so the reason why I put them at number one versus Tasha and Tariq is because one, she had him kill a police officer, okay? Tried to kill him. Two, the police officer was the father, and he didn't even know that was his father. So that's like the main difference for me, because you're not only lying to me about who my father is, you're sending me dead smack to kill this man. So you're killing any possibility of me even knowing the truth. And that's a hot ass. So that's why I kind of chose them, because at least Tariq was fully aware what he was engaging in with Ghost. Even though it was horrible, he at least knew the terms and conditions. All right, he read the fine print. Kanan didn't even get the contract. Okay, he didn't know what he was signing himself up for, and she pretty much. And at this point, Tariq Kanan has some experience, but I feel like Tariq was a little more smarter than what Kanan is right now. And Kanan, he just still wet behind the ears in a lot of ways. So I feel like putting him in that position was very damaging, even though thank God nothing happened. But they're pretty much number one, and that's why I put them at number one. But how do you feel about them being number one? Would you change it, or would you keep it the same?
Well, I would keep it the same. I actually agree with a lot of your points. The first thing that popped into my head was the whole thing about her having him kill a cop. That was the first thing that popped into my head when I saw that they were number one. So, and I don't know. Raquel's manipulation with Kanan is very different than some of the others. I don't know how to explain it per se, but just the way she manipulates him is just a little bit more dangerous to me. She's got a hold on him, and she knows it, and she knows how to play with him, and like she just puppet master. You know what I'm saying? Like the puppet master. So
all right.
And she put her child in harm's way. She put her child in harm's way. So it's just like directly put him in harm's way. Like
you put this little pup up against a cop. Even though I got her justification because she felt that, Howard wouldn't see it coming from him. But still, you never know.
But still very risky. Very risky. Very risky.
Exactly. DeMarcus Vaughn, he said, what about Monet and Drew? I actually did think about separating, Monet and Drew and Monet and Kane. I didn't put Drew, even though it is toxic, I feel like it wasn't as toxic. It's toxic, don't get me wrong. But I feel like she's still very loving to Drew in a sense. There is still some compassion there versus the others. Now, I do feel Rock is loving in a sense to Kanan in her own way. But Monet brings another side when it comes to Drew than she does with her other kids, if that makes sense. So even though it's toxic, deep-rooted, but on the surface, it's a little more palatable. But I did think about them, DeMarcus. I definitely did. Willow Smith, what's up? You said, where's Monet and Diana? Well, I'm doing mother and sons. So that will be like a mother and daughter. I am doing toxic siblings next week, breaking down some of the sibling relationships. But yes, DeMarcus, I got Rock and Kanan number 2. Okay. Because it's all my interpretation and my justification. Everybody's going to have probably different lists. But I just put Rock and Kanan just for the mere fact that she put him in here in a situation where he was not advised of all the details at all. Like, suppose that was successful and, he killed Howard. And suppose he would have found out, like, dang, you really had me out here killing this man, and you really was my father. You know what I'm saying? That's different than Tariq, because Tariq knew what he was doing, but Kanan did not know nothing. All right, he know nothing.
Yeah, he know nothing.
So that was pretty much my justification. And just, just a little list. Now, I did have I think there was one more, but I did it left me just now. But are there any other like mother and sons that you think of? You can think of I'm about to call you Monet, child. Because I was thinking of Monet. Monique.
Not off the top of my head.
No.
I can't right now.
Okay. Yeah, I had a few others. But
what were some of the others that you had?
Where's my list, child? Hold on, let me try to see if I can find my list real quick. Y'all like this video, please, while I do so. I'm trying
yes, please like the video.
I had a little list and I checked it twice and figured out who was naughty and nice. But I don't even know where it is, child. I don't know where I put it, but I did have it. Oh, I can't find it. But there was like one or two more that, hold on, I think I found it. Actually, no, I didn't have it. It was for my sibling list. My sibling list is actually much longer. And I'm gonna have to narrow that down.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, I have like it's probably like 12 to 14 siblings I have on this list. I don't know how much I'm gonna break
all
this
from
down.
All from
yes. So yeah,
we're gonna, oh wow,
we're gonna break that down because we have the Tejadas, we have the Thomases, we have Janarda and Diamond, we got Tariq and Raina, we got Vic and Claudia, we have Alicia and Diego, we have a couple other surprises. So there are some other toxic siblings that I'm going to review. But like I said, there's no like concrete list. And talking it out, I probably will put Monet and Zeke a little lower on the list because I was kind of teetering between Kate and Tommy and Monet and Zeke, mainly because I just felt like Zeke's mental, is a lot more damaging.
Mm-hmm.
He's a little more fragile, if you will. The boy wasn't that bright, child. Oh gosh, but that was it. I'll go through the list once more before we get out of here. Number 1 was Rock and Kanan. Number 2 was Tariq and Tasha, and that's still debatable as well because I can also admit I did think about them conspiring to kill Kanan, so they kind of conspired to kill more than one person.
Ooh, yeah,
so that was another reason. They could have been number 1. But that's kind of like revenge on Raina in a sense too. So I kind of justified that a little bit. But it's still bad.
Mm-hmm.
I have number 3, Monet and Zeke, but it's arguably can be number 5. Number 4, Kane and Monet, and number 5, Kate and Tommy, which they can possibly moved up to number 3 as well. But yeah, that's it. DeMarcus said I got Rock and Kana at number 2. Yeah, they can kind of be interchangeable, honestly. And if I really play with my mental, I probably could, justify them being changed as well. But it's kind of just a little fun list I wanted to come up with. Nothing too deep. Yeah. But do you have any other thoughts before we get out of here, Monique?
No, this was good. I enjoyed it.
Thank you. Do you have anything going on with your channel? Like what's going on over there in Monique's world?
So tomorrow, which is Thursday, I cannot believe it already. The week is flying by, honey. But tomorrow is Reality TV Talk with me and Nita the Diva. So make sure y'all tune in tomorrow at 7:30.
Yes. A lot of stuff going on over there. I haven't been able to watch Housewives, but I like listen to other people's reviews because I know other people. But some people are disappointing me over there.
Okay.
So we're gonna have to see.
Yeah.
And I still have to catch up.
I agree.
Still have to catch up on Nene's interviews with Carlos.
Oh yes, please watch it. I'd love to know what you think. Yeah.
Girl, I heard clips of the first one, child.
I actually enjoyed part 1 more than part 2.
Okay.
Part 2 was still interesting, but I enjoyed part 1 more.
Okay.
Part 1 was really good. I say if you're gonna watch, definitely watch part 1 for sure.
Okay. Because I'm like, I feel like I was like, I wonder if they're gonna start doing this. But Carlos, I don't know how I feel about him, but it just seemed like he's a little messy.
Really?
He's a little messy boots for me. And that's good for TV. That's good for TV though.
Yeah, it's good for TV.
Yes. DeMarcus, you said Unique and Jerome. Is that his fault? Oh, you talking about his son? Ooh, I don't think that's really toxic though. I mean, that wig they had on his son.
Yeah, I don't think we know enough about.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just saying they could have did better with that wig, but I mean, I'm sure Jerome is traumatized by that little, movie date that they had, but
yeah,
I don't think he's married yet. It's still more to see. DeMarcus, who is the worst, Mama's boy, Tariq or Kane? I would say Kane because Tariq is independent in a lot of ways. That Kane is not.
Yeah.
Kane is more so get my mom out of danger, out the way. Kane is like, I still want love from my mama. So
yeah, it's definitely Kane.
Yeah, definitely Kane. She got a hold on that boy. Oh Lord, he ain't got no daddy no more. Like, what's all right, let's poor Kane.
All right, please.
Well, maybe Effie will give him some hugs and love.
Effie is Stone Cold Fox. She ain't giving him nothing.
Cold-blooded. I'm still team Effie, y'all. I'm ride or die for right now. I'm right.
Oh Lord.
I'm riding till the wheels fall off. I'm gonna stick by her. It's a toxic. Me and her got a toxic relationship. Oh, well, thank you so much for coming through, Monique.
Yes, thanks for having me, girl.
And make sure y'all subscribe if you're not subscribed to her channel. If you're not subscribed to mine, like why we playing games, please make sure you like this video and do all the things. And I will catch you guys tomorrow during the forced rewatch episodes 1 and 2. Oh, Jesus Christ. I got a lot to say about this because I got a whole nother perspective. Y'all gonna have to bear with me with this rewatch, okay? But until next time, y'all enjoy the rest of y'all evening. Toodles.